Mary Magdalene, recognized as one of the most enigmatic figures in biblical history, is renowned for her role as a witness to both the life and death of Jesus Christ. She is often associated with the revelation of esoteric knowledge, which is believed to have been conveyed to her by Jesus and later documented in the Gospel of Mary. Although this text is not part of the canonical Bible, it held significant value among early Christian communities and is considered one of the most distinctive of the Gnostic Gospels. The precise date of its composition remains uncertain. However, some scholars suggest it may date back to the 2nd century AD. A pertinent question arises. Was Mary Magdalene regarded as the foremost among the apostles of Christ? This discussion invites a reevaluation of Mary's role as we explore alternative perspectives on her significance in the context of early Christianity. In recent decades, the Gospel of Mary has garnered increased attention, particularly following the publication of Dan Brown's best-selling novel, The Vinci Code. In his work, Brown posits that Mary Magdalene and Jesus Christ shared a profound romantic relationship, potentially even a marriage. This assertion raises further inquiries regarding the extent of the Roman Catholic Church's awareness of such a relationship and whether it deliberately obscured this information. However, it is essential to critically assess the veracity of these claims and to determine whether the Gospel of Mary presents historically accurate insights into the nature of the relationship between Jesus and Mary Magdalene. Did they indeed share a romantic bond? Or was Mary primarily a devoted follower and a recipient of sacred knowledge? The Gnostic Gospel of Philip states that there were 3 individuals who consistently accompanied the Lord: Mary, his mother, her sister, and Mary Magdalene, referred to as his companion. The Lord expressed a particular affection for Mary Magdalene, loving her more than all the disciples, and frequently demonstrating this affection through acts such as kissing her. Observing this preferential treatment, the other disciples questioned him, asking, "Why do you love her more than all of us?" In response, the Savior posed a rhetorical question: "Why do I not love you in the same manner as her?" However, who exactly was Mary Magdalene? Our understanding of her character is largely derived from later Christian traditions rather than the biblical texts themselves. Notably, there is no evidence within the New Testament to suggest that Mary Magdalene was a prostitute. In fact, the account in Luke 7:36-50 describes a sinful woman who anoints Jesus' feet with precious ointment, and this individual is distinct from Mary Magdalene. She holds significant importance in Christianity, being among the first to witness the empty tomb and the resurrected Jesus. In the accounts of all 4 Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, Mary Magdalene's image has been conflated with that of the unnamed woman described by Luke, a conflation that may have served to diminish her role within the early Christian narrative. The Gospel is composed from the perspective of Mary Magdalene, though it is widely considered that she did not author it. The characteristics of the writing style, grammatical syntax, and theological content indicate that it likely dates no earlier than the 2nd century AD, significantly after Mary's lifetime. The extant manuscript is a 5th century Coptic Egyptian version of what was presumably an earlier Greek or possibly Syrian text. Some hypotheses even suggest an ancient Bulgarian origin. This gospel is notable as the only canonical or non-canonical gospel attributed to a woman. Mary Magdalene is recognized as Jesus' favored disciple and garnered a significant following, particularly among Christians in the 2nd century. The Gospel of Mary asserts that Mary Magdalene experienced visions and engaged in conversations with Jesus that were not disclosed to any other disciple. It is suggested that Jesus imparted a distinctive form of knowledge to Mary, as she was deemed worthy of this exceptional kind of gnosis. The text consists of 4 succinct dialogues that provide profound insights into the teachings of Jesus, the concept of apostleship, and the distinguished status of Mary Magdalene among the disciples. As a representative text of 2nd century agnosticism, it encompasses substantial agnostic theology and cosmology. It can be interpreted as an apocalyptic work, derived from the Greek term meaning unveiling, which typically pertains to esoteric knowledge. Furthermore, it offers unique perspectives on the metaphysical foundations upon which Jesus formulated his teachings. Consequently, it serves as a foundational text for all seekers of divine wisdom. The Gospel can be delineated into two principal segments. The initial segment presents a dialogue between the resurrected Jesus and his disciples, wherein Jesus addresses inquiries regarding the concepts of matter and sin and imparts his final teachings and directives to his followers. Peter inquired, "Since you have elucidated all matters to us, please inform us. What constitutes the sin of the world?" The Savior responded, "There is no inherent sin. Rather, it is humanity that generates sin when actions align with the nature of adultery, which is deemed sinful. This is the purpose for which the good came into your presence, to engage with the essence of every nature, so as to restore it to its foundational state. This teaching conveys that sin is not a universal condition. It manifests only when individuals act in accordance with sinful inclinations. Sin emanates from humanity's departure from the good within and the pursuit of desires that contradict this intrinsic goodness." He further articulated, "This is the reason for your ailments and mortality, because you are drawn to that which deceives you. He who strives will attain much, but such striving may give rise to a passion devoid of resemblance, stemming from an excessive attachment to the material. This results in a distortion that lacks true form, as it is drawn to that which opposes its higher nature. Consequently, confusion reverberates throughout the individual's being. It is for this reason that I have urged you to seek contentment at the level of the heart, and should you feel disheartened, find solace in the presence of the image of your true nature. He who has ears to hear, let him hear." The first segment concludes with Jesus' final exhortation to his disciples, who are cautioned to be vigilant against those who might lead them astray and are commissioned to go forth and disseminate the gospel. When Jesus leaves, the disciples are upset, but Mary stands up and encourages them. "Beware that no one misleads you, saying, 'Here,' or 'Behold there.' For the Son of Man is within you. Follow him. Those who see him will find him." Saying this, he left, and they sank into sorrow, shedding copious tears and saying, "How shall we go to the Gentiles to preach the heavenly gospel of the Son of Man? If they did not spare him, how will they spare us?" Then Mary stood up, greeted everyone, and said to her brothers, "Do not grieve and do not doubt, for his grace will be with you all and serve as your protection. Let us praise his greatness, for he prepared us and made us human." Interestingly, in the Gospel of Mary, Jesus says that the nature of matter will be resolved in its essence, its root, which means that the good that is in each of us will eventually be restored to the ultimate good, and salvation will eventually be given to all. The second segment of the Gospel of Mary commences with Peter addressing Mary Magdalene, stating that Jesus holds her in greater affection than any other woman. He encourages her to share with the other disciples the teachings of the Savior that she recalls, but which they have not heard. "Sister, you are aware that the Savior loved you more than all other women. Please convey to us the words of the Savior that you remember, which are unknown to us." Mary responded, "What is concealed from you, I shall disclose to you." She then articulated the following: "I beheld the Lord in a vision. I inquired of him, 'Lord, I saw you today in a vision.' He replied, 'Blessed are you, for you did not falter in my presence. For where the mind is, there lies the treasure.' I further asked him, 'Lord, please clarify. Does one who contemplates a vision perceive it through the soul or through the spirit?' The Savior responded, 'One perceives neither through the soul nor through the spirit, but rather with the mind that exists between the two.' This introduces the first Hermetic principle. All is mind. The essence of existence is mental, and all is unified within the One. All that exists is the One, and the One encompasses all existence. The Gospel emphasizes the soul's journey as it ascends through 4 levels of the cosmos, facing inquiries from 4 powers. Furthermore, it teaches that knowledge serves as the key to transcending these 4 forces, ultimately leading to salvation. The soul, upon overcoming the 3rd power, ascends further to conquer the 4th power in 7 distinct forms. The first form is darkness, the second is loss, the third is ignorance, the 4th is mortal jealousy, the 5th is the ring of the flesh, the 6th is the cunning of the flesh, and the 7th is fierce wisdom. Collectively, these represent the 7 powers of wrath. Anjou addressed his brothers, stating, "Please express your thoughts regarding her remarks. I, for one, find it difficult to accept that the Savior articulated this, as these teachings appear to be quite unconventional." Peter responded, questioning the implications of the situation. Did he truly engage in private discourse with a woman rather than openly with us? Are we to turn around and listen to her? Has he chosen her over us? In response, Mary, visibly emotional, addressed Peter. "My dear brother Peter, what is your perspective? Do you believe that I have fabricated this in my imagination, or that I am misrepresenting the Savior?" Levi interjected, addressing Peter. "Peter, your anger is evident. It seems you are in competition with a woman, as if you were rivals. However, if the Savior has deemed her worthy, who are you to dismiss her? Surely the Savior is well acquainted with her. That is why he holds her in higher regard than us. Rather, we should feel a sense of humility and embody the ideal man, adhering to his teachings and proclaiming the gospel without imposing any additional regulations or laws beyond those articulated by the Savior." In a scientific, esoteric text, a somewhat different narrative regarding Mary is presented, one that you may not be familiar with. It asserts that Mary Magdalene indeed shared a relationship with Jesus, though not in the physical sense, but rather in connection with the source. I pose this question to you. Did you have a relationship with Jesus? Some suggest you were his wife, while others assert you were merely his student. Which narrative holds true? The response is affirmative. I had a relationship with Jesus. My connection is with the source. Is that not the terminology you use? In the realm of the source, we are all interconnected. I am he, and he is I. This pertains to both the source and Jesus. Mary Magdalene is said to have had a husband and children, specifically 2 sons. In addition to this, she had another child, named Julia, conceived through her faith in both Jesus and the divine source. During her time as a disciple of Jesus, Mary Magdalene undertook the task of composing a gospel that explored the inner potential of individuals, collaborating with him to demonstrate these possibilities through personal experiences. Although I possessed the knowledge and skills to implement the teachings of Jesus, I found myself procrastinating until the very end. After Jesus departed 13 years later, I faced a critical moment in my life, recalling his words, "Faith in life is life." At the age of 43, alone, without family, ailing, and lacking the strength to continue, she resolved to apply the teachings of Jesus, relying on her faith in the source to create life. Despite the improbability of her situation, she yearned for a child. Through her unwavering faith and patience, she achieved this aspiration. Over the course of several months, as she prayed, she nurtured her desire, visualizing it as a bowl of yarn. Each day, as this desire transformed into a radiant orb of light, she infused it with a glowing spark of faith at its center. Although she was uncertain of the outcome, after a few additional months, she sensed the presence of the child within her. She relinquished her former existence to embrace life through faith in the source, choosing to accept the physical form. Mary Magdalene was able to document and articulate the essence of hope, faith, and the purity of the mind, as well as its capacity for creation. The work she produced is titled Magisterium, a term derived from Latin, meaning manu hand serial sterile clean a mind, which narrates the potential of humanity through the energy of a pure mind. Within this text, She portrays the world as an unstable illusion, a manifestation of light and oscillations surrounding darkness. When an individual aligns their thoughts and destiny with the Creator, transmitting an energetic impulse toward their desires, life emerges, and those desires materialize. This sense of emptiness that I experienced was filled with strength and hope, affirming that anything is possible. The impulse that catalyzes the birth of life resides within each person. Every impulse sent forth with genuine faith can manifest, allowing each of us to further create and realize our aspirations. She describes this art of creation as a cup in which faith and emptiness merge. The glass that is full and empty at the same time. When a person wants to create with it, the full overflows into the empty, and the empty is filled with your faith, which becomes the miracle you're waiting for. This cup is the Holy Grail through which each person becomes a creator. You merge with Him and create the world with all your love. You'll find that it is only the impulse of your thinking. For this to happen, it is right to give up the body, accepting the body, and merging with the impulse and the emptiness that you are. The pure belief that you can, that you are, that this is all that is, and believer. And remember this glass. It is real. Interesting, it turns out Mary, who is considered by many to be a harlot and who knew that she could no longer have children, is precisely the one who finds the way to merge with the source and becomes a creator. If we combine this account with the Gospel of Mary, we will see the exact practical instructions for this sacrament. The most important thing is that everyone can achieve it. What Mary learned, experienced, and described is a document containing both the knowledge of Jesus and the practical result available to everyone. Thus, everyone becomes the source and the creator of their own reality. He who has eyes to see will see. He who has a mind to reflect will understand. He who has a soul to feel will penetrate. The question of the historical accuracy of the Gospel of Mary Magdalene regarding the relationship between Mary and Jesus remains unresolved. While definitive answers may elude us, it is evident that the Gospel of Mary presents a distinctive viewpoint on the life and teachings of Jesus, articulated from the perspective of a woman who held significant esteem within early Christian communities. Although the Gospel of Mary was valued by some early Christians, it was ultimately deemed insignificant and excluded from the New Testament, facing condemnation as heretical by the Roman Catholic Church. Despite the ongoing debates and controversies surrounding the Gospel of Mary, Mary Magdalene continues to be a pivotal figure in Christianity, serving as an inspiration to countless individuals worldwide. Her narrative exemplifies the essence of faith, love, and perseverance, and her legacy encourages a deeper exploration of our own identities and our place in the world. The acceptance of various interpretations remains a matter of personal choice. It is essential to recognize that every individual has the right to their beliefs. However, we posit that only by integrating and reconciling seemingly opposing perspectives can we uncover the core message. We express our gratitude for your engagement with this episode of Talk of Jesus. We encourage you to maintain an open mind, and we look forward to our next meeting.